You're listening to the Superpower Podcast, Superpower Kids Edition, where author, philanthropist, and Superpower Kids founder Neva Lee Recla inspires kids to discover their superpowers and change the world.
Hi kids, this is your superpower kid, Neva Lee Recla. And today we have a really special treat for you. Today I'm interviewing Garrain Jones. And Garrain went from homeless and living in his car in Los Angeles. He changed his mindset, and now he travels the world helping others change theirs. So today we'll be talking with Garrain about the power of flow. So without further ado, will you help me welcome our very superhero guest, Garrain Jones. Hi, Garrain.
Hi, thank you so much for that warm welcome.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. So, what are your superpowers?
Well, how many do you want me to name?
You can name as many as you want.
I have my first superhero power is the superhero power to love people no matter what.
That's awesome.
And my second superpower is the power of being resilient through any trial or tribulation. And another superhero power is the ability to listen to people's desires, seek it, support it, and cultivate it to see it through. Not their needs, but their actual desires, what's in their heart.
That's awesome.
And I give you one more. And my fourth superhero power is the ability to be 100% authentically myself.
That's awesome. And a lot of people don't have that superpower. So I think it's awesome, especially when people are willing to say that they have that.
Absolutely.
So what was it like to be homeless?
You know, you can't really see a picture while you're in the frame. So I was numb with emotions. See, I have a different perspective now because I'm not inside of it. But while I was inside of it, I was very stressful. I was very hurt. I was very depressed. I didn't even know why I was here on this planet, because it seemed like I had all of this talent inside, but I didn't know where to put it. Like I didn't know where to put all of this energy. And I used to say, just like, why am I in this? Why am I going through this? Why me? Why me? Why me? Why me? And I just kept asking that question over and over and over. And it was like knocking on a vacant door. So the best way to answer the question that you ask is, it's like being in a crowded place with unfamiliar faces. And it was like that every single day, crying myself to sleep, wondering how I even got here. And I was just numb with emotions. And it was past the point of being scared, past the point of almost every negative thing that you can think of. And I was just existing in life.
That's that's interesting. I've never heard anyone say something like that. So how did you decide to change your mindset to now you're living a happy life?
So it was very interesting because anytime I've been in trouble in life, I've always gotten these weird signs, but I didn't know that they were signs for me to follow when I was a little kid because I didn't have that level of awareness. But it got to the point where what I was going through was so painful that I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then one day I can't take it. Either I don't live or I do something about it. And I remember I blamed my mom. My father was, his life was taken by two men when I was 12 years old. So I blamed my dad. I blamed my mom. I blamed my girlfriend at the time. But the one person I never blamed was myself. I never took responsibility for everything that I said I was going to do. And then one day, it was August 2011 at 3:43 in the morning, my window was busted out. There was like scotch tape and this white shirt over my right window. And I just cried a cry that I'd never cried before in my life. And I was just yelling. And I was like, okay, I'm tired of fighting. I don't want to fight anymore. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I want to be surrounded by nothing but positive people. I just want to inspire people. And I want to make a bunch of money, but I want the money to represent something that I passionately believe in, that I would do for free. Just show me a sign. Just show me a sign. And I was crying and crying and crying, because all my life I've always focused on what I don't want. And when you focus on what you don't want, that's what keeps being attracted to your life. It was the first time in my life I focused on exactly what I wanted, not what my mom or dad wanted for me, not what my girlfriend, not what society, not what school. But it was me, my life, what's in my heart, what I wanted for me, my desires. And it was the first time in my life I ever fought for my own life. And a week later, I was at the gas station with my last $2. It was $4.59 to get a gallon. I only had $2 to my name. And a homeless guy walks up to me and he asked me for money. And I said, you have more money than me. And he says, change your mindset, change your life. And he walks away. And in that moment, in that very moment, because I felt like I had been living a lie for 30 plus years until I heard that statement. Because when he said, change your mindset, change your life, that was the first time I ever had it was like everything that I ever learned was interrupted by that one word. It's like interrupted my thought process.
Yeah.
Change your mindset, change your life. Change your mindset, change your life. And I just kept saying it over and over and over. Change your mindset, change. So if I do different with the same circumstances, my life will change. Change your mindset, change your life. And I just kept saying it. So it was like having this little angel on my shoulder. So every day from that point, it's been almost 7 years since that point. When I don't feel like doing something, when I don't feel like working out, if I don't feel like taking this meeting, I'll always have that voice that say, change your mindset, change your life. Do the opposite of everything you would normally do. And I started with stairs. Normally I would take the escalators. And then I said, change your mindset, change your life. And so I took the stairs. But I didn't know that by doing the opposite or doing different with the same circumstances would have me go into a different direction in life. Because most people, they carry out the same patterns over and over and over. It's like a hamster in a cage going back and forth and back and forth. But it was the first time in my life that I was like, wait. And so within 6 months of doing the opposite, there's no possible way you're the same person. If you're driving down the street and you make a left on the same road every time, you're going to go down the same street.
Exactly.
But if you make a right, you do the opposite, you're going to go to a different destination. So
exactly.
My life is I've accumulated every single day the opposite of everything that I would normally do in areas where I wasn't happy. Well, the opposite of sad is what?
Happy.
Happy. And so my life is literally the philosophy of change your mindset, change your life. That's my book is coming out based off of everything that I learned while literally transforming my mind. But I didn't know that's what it was doing. But I kept getting new results every time I did something different. And so that's how it was birthed.
Well, that's awesome. I would love to hear more about that. But before I do, we need to take a quick break.
Okay.
So
cool.
we've been talking with Garrain Jones about the power of flow. We'll be right back.
Are you here to change the world? Do you talk about things like vibration, frequency, awakening, and consciousness? Are you pretty sure you have superpowers? The Superpower Net is unlike normal coaching programs and conscious communities. We provide training, intuitive guidance, peer-to-peer learning, intensive one-on-one coaching, and a high vibrational network of people just like you. When you join the net, you get 24/7 access to a collaborative group of people who support you as you master master your personal power and unlock your superpowers. If you're ready to use your superpowers to change the world, then join the Superpower Net today. Visit superpowerexperts.com/thenet to learn more.
Okay, we're back, and we've been talking with Garrain Jones about the power of flow. So, I loved what you were talking about earlier. So, what does flow mean to you?
Flow means, it's like when you just look at water. You look at nature. Right now, outside, there's thousands of trees. They're flowing with nature. When you look at a bird and it's soaring, it's flowing with its innate nature to just be who it is. You look at a fish. It's just utilizing everything that's already inside of them.
Exactly.
However, if the fish were to try to be a bird, it might.
That's not going to work.
There would be no flow. So how I even embody flow is I feel that we all came to this earth with our own individual superhero powers. Everyone. I feel like we all do that. Most people never uncover it, but those who are the fortunate ones to do can understand that what they've been looking for their whole life has been inside of them the entire time. Like, I've always been a superhero, but every superhero must go through things to understand their true powers. Everyone that I know, they overcame something. They overcame deaths of the family. There's always things that they need to overcome to understand their true power. So flow to me means when you're using everything, all of your gifts, all of your creativity, all the love. You have 100 trillion cells in your body. When all of your 100 trillion cells are lined up with who you are, why you are, where you are, how you are, and you're just in love with everything that has to do with anything, and you're focused, you're locked, there's this zone and there's this space where you don't even know that you're a human. Like, birds don't know that they're birds. They're just doing what they were designed to do.
Exactly.
So when I was out of flow, that's when I was doing everything that everybody else wanted me to do. And that's when I felt lost and bored and stuck. But when I got back to everything that I love pandas, I love superheroes, I love fashion, I love working out, I love singing, dancing, I love acknowledging people, speaking on stages. When I got back to everything that I love, I was of nature, and anything that's of nature flows with nature.
Exactly. So what were you like as a kid?
Exactly how I am right now. Honestly, I was so free, but free as a kid with a very strict mom means you're hard-headed and you get in trouble a lot. And it was very interesting because my mom, and she didn't know any better. Like, they don't give parents a blueprint on parenting. You just do the best you can with what you have. So my mom was only with the parenting tools she had from her mom telling me, the Joneses don't do anything like that. You don't want to grow your hair out. You don't want to do this. Why are you wearing mismatched clothes? And I remember I yelled at my mom one time. I said, "Mom, ask me if I love it." And I didn't even know at that time as a child, I was fighting for my freedom. And so me as a child, I was very curious. I was always asking questions. I always wanted to be a superhero. Batman is my favorite character because I could relate to him the most. There was this thing, and I never could understand it as a kid. I feel like your mission in life is dropped inside of you before you are born, and you show signs as a child. So it's very interesting, me talking on stages, speaking transformational change in front of 30, 40,000 people, or one-on-one or online or whatever. But when I was a little kid, 5 years old, people would always come to me for advice, and I didn't know why. And I would just say what I felt, and then good things would happen. And I couldn't properly articulated. So imagine a baby going, gaga goo goo. The baby is expressing himself, but he doesn't know how to say ball until he learns language.
Exactly.
So I've always had the characteristics of a superhero. And what am I now? Stronger than the average man. Look at these muscles. I have abs like an action figure. And I save people's lives all over the world. It doesn't look like the cape wearing hero thing, but there's so many different kinds of superheroes. But I'm literally wearing a panda with a cape on, but I love pandas and I love superheroes, so I just created that.
That's awesome. So did your parents teach you about flow, or did you learn it by yourself?
Oh no, I learned the hard way through trial and error, 30 years of just messing up and then seeing what worked, what didn't work. Like my parents, like my father, he was into narcotics and he was drinking, and my mom, she was always working. So I was pretty much by myself, and I got picked on a lot and I got bullied a lot because I would always talk about superheroes and galaxies and stars, and they're like, why are you so weird? You're like an alien. And I'm from Houston, Texas. So out here in California, it's accepted to be different. When you're where I'm from, people don't accept you. So I was by myself a lot, but I'll tell you, it was very interesting how my mother, and she didn't know any better. And that's the thing. I blamed her my whole life for not being the kind of mom I wanted her to be compared to other children. But she just did the best she could with what she had. And I didn't understand that until I was 30 years old. But my mom was an incredible woman. She wasn't the philosophy kind and read this book, read that book. It's like, watch these cartoons. So I didn't understand what flow was, even though connecting the dots, looking backwards on my life, I remember many times when I was a kid where I was like, wow, all these good things keep on happening to me. And, you can't change anything without awareness. So if you're not aware of something, you have no clue what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what can parents do to teach their kids about mindset?
Honestly, the thing about it is what I've learned in coaching people and just working with people, you can't give what you don't have. And it's very difficult to convey something that you're not doing yourself. So the best thing for parents to do is actually work on mindset themselves. And what I've seen worked is when somebody's actually living what they're speaking, people receive it totally different.
Exactly.
I've seen people, this is not degrading any parents, but I've seen parents, they're saying, you stay in school, you get good grades, and you do this and stay off drugs, but the parents doing drugs. And if people don't do what you say, they do what they see. And I don't think parents are aware that not only the children have a physical body, they have an energetic body too.
So if they're telling their kids to do something, they have to do that themselves.
Absolutely. If you're telling your kid to eat healthy, but you're stuffing your face with burgers, there's no possible way, because people don't. I stood on stage in front of 30,000 people, and I said, everybody, touch your nose, touch your nose, touch your nose. You notice I'm touching my head, but I told them I said, touch your nose. 90% of the room did what they saw. So children, whether parents know it or not, are embodying their energy, their speaking, the way they are, the way they treat people, and everything. That's why even babies learn how to walk. Babies learn how to walk. They don't just naturally start wanting to walk. They see a bunch of people walking. So they're trying to do what they see.
Exactly. I love what you're saying, because a parent can't say, eat healthy, stay off drugs, and then they're stuffing their face with McDonald's and doing drugs.
Absolutely.
And telling their kid the opposite.
That is a lose-lose situation.
Exactly. So, how can kids change their mindset to be more empowered?
Honestly, it's more about culture and awareness. It's not even taught in school. So it takes people like you to be the example and really get yourself out there, because there's not really examples like that. And so whenever kids like you get a spotlight and people actually see you and the way that you talk, what you're about, now kids aren't forced to just try to copy everything that they see in society. The kids don't know any better. They just see this singer, they see this rapper, they see this person, but they make those choices based off of observation. You're the exception to the rule because now you're another option. So the more and more you get out there, the more and more people have another example. So it's not for the kid to just discover one day, no, it's when
they have to work up to that point.
You know what I'm saying? When the parents understand that the child is not a carbon copy. Like, don't force your child to do what you want them to do.
Exactly.
Seek and support what's in their heart and cultivate them through that.
You have to let them do what they're passionate about. You
know what I'm saying? My daughter, she wants to be an astrophysicist and go to Yale. I'm not talking to her about anything else that I think she should need because I make more money or I've been on this. I've been alive longer and I've had more experiences. The reason why we have such an incredible relationship is that every single time I speak to her, the very first conversation is like, how close are you to space? How close are you to NASA? And then she speaks to me from that lens of, wow, Daddy cares about my desires. So it's more about the awareness of the parents to know beyond what they think their child needs, but more cultivate and shape them through their desires, and then they can grow and grow up to be all that they can be, rather than I'm going to do this because I was forced to do this. I've met so many people who is like, well, we come from a long line of lawyers, but they don't really they hate their jobs. They make a lot of money, but they hate their jobs.
Yeah.
I would never force anybody to do something that deep down inside your heart they don't want to do.
Exactly. So, we actually need to do funny FaceTime. Okay. So, we have to make our funniest face in 3, 2, 1.
I'm Batman, and I can't breathe.
Awesome. So, we also need to do Super Neva questions. So, you have to answer questions like as fast as you can without stumbling or without adding too long. You just have to answer.
Okay.
What's your favorite color?
Red.
What's your favorite animal?
Pandas.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
The ability to love no matter what.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Right where I am right now.
If you could say one thing to kids that are being bullied, what would it be?
Go and find your superhero power. Go and find your superhero power and become that person that you've always wanted to be. And then change your group of friends.
That's awesome. What would you say to kids so they can be more empowered within themselves, so they can feel like they're a superhero?
You are worthy of love You don't need to prove yourself to anybody, and follow your heart always, because it will lead you to the gold.
Awesome. If there's one invention, like a flying car or a dragon or anything, what would it be? And what would you use it for?
Oh, wait, say that again. If there's one invention that I would want to create?
Uh-huh. What would it be and what would you use it for? Like anything.
What I would like to invent is some empowered glassware. And at the bottom of the glass, the cup, it says "You are powerful." It'll change the state of the water. It'll change the way you feel about water. It'll change the way you feel about yourself. Because usually you look at the bottom of a cup and you just see whatever. But if you say "I am powerful" or "You are powerful," all of a sudden, bam! It's like,
I want to drink water more often.
Absolutely. And a lot of people don't drink a lot of water.
Exactly. Would you rather live in a hot tub full of hot fudge?
Say that again?
Would you rather live in a hot tub full of hot fudge or a pool full of marshmallows?
Pool full of marshmallows.
Why?
Because that just seems like it would be fun. Like, I don't want to be covered in chocolate. Marshmallows reminds me of clouds. And so it just seems like it would be.
And it would be giant marshmallows too.
Ooh, yes, absolutely. That one.
That one, yeah.
It just seems like it would be more fun.
Would you rather live in a giant, like a giant shell, or live in a tree?
Definitely a tree. Definitely. If it's nature, I would definitely live in a tree.
Would you rather be a worm or a snail?
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one.
And FYI, snails eat worms. So.
I would rather be a snail.
Would you want to have a pet dragon or your best friend as an elf?
My best friend as an elf? My best friend as an elf, for sure.
If you could do one thing that made you, like if you want to die and you want to get hurt, if you could do one thing, what would it be?
Snap all of the evil out of the evil.
I like that.
Like this, just this fast. Bam.
I like that. Me, I'd probably go skydiving.
Nice. I go every month.
You do?
Yeah, it's so fun.
When
you go, you're going to be like, wow, I'm literally looking down on the earth. I'm so powerful.
The closest to skydiving I've actually ever gone is indoor skydiving.
That's fun too.
Yeah, because me, I had to step back every time. I was like, pressure, step back, jump in.
All right.
Because they take you 15 feet up in the air if you're steady enough. So that was really fun. I ran out of questions.
Got it.
That was really good. So where can people go to find out more about you?
You can definitely go to my website, GarrainJones.com, and that's GARRAIN Jones.com. I am super active on Instagram, which is Garrain.Jones. At Garrain.Jones. Facebook, Garrain Jones. Snapchat, Garrain Jones. At my house, when I do my 3-day transformation workshops that are coming up, woo! It's going to be so fun. At my house, you'll find out about all that information coming up on my website. But definitely sign up for my mailing list. Lots of inspiration, lots of fun. I travel. I went to 28 different countries. I spoke in 28 countries last year. It'll be more than that this year. And you can find me everywhere where there's people.
Well, that's awesome. Definitely go check it out. So,
Sure.
would you like to join me in the sign-off?
Absolutely. What am I saying?
So, when I point to you, you say, "And we can change the world."
Okay, cool.
Okay. Remember, kids, we all have superpowers, and
We can change the world. Woo-hoo!
awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Superpower Up podcast, Superpower Kids Edition. Go now to superpowerkids.com and discover your superpowers today.